Hi, I'm Alyssa and welcome to Vibe Check. Today we're talking about social media and taking social media detoxes. I recently got my Instagram back after having it deleted for about a month and a half, I want to say, and it felt so amazing to not spend so much time on this app that I realized was not even making me feel good at all. Social media is literally designed for us to be addicted to scroll and just scroll, looking at nothing for hours. It took me until now to realize how much my creativity sparked once I had deleted it and how much more I was doing with my time. And I started drawing more, I started painting more. I got a job, I was just way more motivated to do things because I didn't have this clutch to go to when I was bored or just didn't know what else to do. I had to actively think about different ways to spend my time and what I could be doing, and it made me so much more present and in the moment with everything because I wasn't just checking my phone to see nothing. There was no reason for me to check my phone before, but I would just do it anyway out of habit. And I think that our generation for a while has understood that social media is kind of toxic and not the best for us. Out of the comparisons that we make on there and how much time we just mindlessly spend scrolling, hours and hours on of our day just doing nothing on our phone and wasting so much time. But I think we've also kind of just accepted it for what it is, and we're aware of all of the problems of it, at least most of them, but we just kind of choose to ignore it, which is sad. It's kind of sad, but it's true. We're all addicted to it, and because of that, we take the consequences that come with it. But I think for spending so much of our time on these different apps, it's worth being intentional with how we use it and just thinking about it for a second, really going through what social media is to us. I'm not one of those people who believes that social media is the devil and it's rotting our brains completely. It may be rotting our brains a little bit, but I don't think that social media itself is bad. I think if we are aware of what the function of these apps actually are and how we can use it more intentionally, I don't think that being on social media is a bad thing at all. I think that we just need to be aware of how we use it and who we follow and maybe how much time we do spend on it. I don't think it's constructive to group all social media as doing the same thing. I think that different social media platforms have different functions for all of us. They may have one general function, but one app to you may not be how someone else uses an app. I deleted my Instagram, but I kept my Twitter because I like Twitter and it's funny and I get so much news on there. And it's a place where I am connected to people that I feel closer to, whereas Instagram is where I'm connected to the most people. I was actually talking to an old professor about this a few weeks ago, and at the time we had both deleted our Instagrams because to us the app felt performative and overwhelming, and there was so much comparison on it and people who were trying to show they were trying to show a facade of their life. And that is not healthy for people to be consuming all the time. The advice that she gave me and some of the other girls that we were talking to was evaluate what these apps are to you. How do you use them? And is it necessary for you to have all of them, or could you take a break from one while still being on the other one? Being able to look back and reflect on how I use Instagram while I was currently not using it made me realize that she was right. I mean, of course she was right. She's a media professor, so she's been studying this stuff for years, but she made me realize that if we're intentional with how we use different social medias, it shouldn't be overwhelming. If we are aware of the function of a certain app to us when we go on it, and if we're intentional with the accounts that we follow and what we're consuming while we're on it, it won't bring us into a toxic headspace because we're not in a toxic environment. And if you're not sure of what a social media platform is to you, after you use it, like, just sit there and think for a minute or two, how do I feel after spending this amount of time on this app? Social media was constructed for us to mindlessly scroll through it. It wasn't made for us to be thinking about these things. I don't think the creators realized how much of a monopoly on our time that these apps would have when they made them. But now that they're such an integral part of our life, it's important for us to take control of how we use them and of our time. Social media differs from traditional media because it's controlled by the things that the users post. So as the users, we have to control how we use it, and we have to use it in a way that's not harmful and that doesn't perpetuate toxic habits, like making it hard to focus on things or making it hard to form our own opinion. Being off social media made me feel more creative because I wasn't constantly comparing my work to other people, and I didn't have this standard of what my life should look like and what the things I'm doing should look like, because my opinion wasn't being altered by what other people thought that we should be doing. Taking time away from social media is taking time to be with ourselves and in the present. We are not stuck in our screen so much, and it changes the way we behave even when we do have social media back. Once I got it back, I didn't even turn my notifications back on because I was so used to not having it that I didn't feel like I needed to be getting this notification on my phone every 5 minutes, or not that often, but you know what I mean. Being aware of how we use different social medias is just a form of self-care. Being aware of where we are putting our energy and being mindful of something that we do every single day. Check in with yourself, check in with your friends. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time on Vibe Check.